This video is brought to you by the PowerBase Mini, a smaller, more compact alternative to the original PowerBase converter. Visit the link in the description below for more information.
Team Canada.
Hey, what's up guys? SeeJayAre here today with a top 10 exclusive Xbox 360 games. This is my own personal list. This is also kind of a bit of a hidden gems video. The Xbox 360, as I've said many times, is my lead console, the previous generation. Probably the most gaming I've ever done is on the 360. When the 360 came out in 2005, between 2005 and 2007, I was really kind of reinvigorated into gaming. I had died off, let me see, 2005-ish. Between 2002 to 2005, I wasn't playing a whole lot of games. I was in my 20s, in my prime, so I was out chasing girls and going to bars and clubs and having fun doing that kind of stuff. So video games weren't a high priority on my list. But with the release of the 360, I really got into gaming again. And I absolutely love the 360. It's probably one of my top 3 to 5 consoles of all time. I really enjoyed that system. So I just wanted to make a quick list. I did my 360 collection video a while back, and I wanted to just make a list of my top 10 exclusives to that system. I'll also do a PS3 exclusive, then I'll probably do a cross-platform exclusive. So I'll come up with about 30 games from that generation that were my favorites. Number 10 on my list, Earth Defense Force 2017. It took me quite a while to track down this game. The first one, I should mention that all of these, as far as I know, are console exclusives. They may be on the PC. There's one game that I think was released on another console, but that was only in Japan. So, as far as I know, these are all console exclusives, but some may be on the PC. And as far I know there was exclusives for the 360 that eventually went to the system. BioShock being one, that would be my number 1 Xbox exclusive, but it eventually was ported to the PS3. And from what I remember, it was a pretty terrible port. So back to Earth Defense Force 2017. This version is exclusive to the Xbox 360. It took me forever, like I said, to find this. In the past 3 or 4 years, I think that there's been like 5 of these games released. There's one on the Vita. A couple on the PS3. I think there might be a couple on the Vita too. But anyways, it's published by D3. It's a how do I put this? It's an extremely fun shooter, but it's pretty shallow. The voice acting is terrible. It's a very arcadey shooter. It's really fun with multiplayer. You've got a really cool array of weapons. Basically, it's third person, and you're running around just blowing up giant ants, spiders, robots, bugs. The cities are completely destructible. I think this one has vehicles, mechs, stuff like that. At first glance, you're going to probably think this is a terrible game. It's not the prettiest game, but man, in terms of fun factor, this is a 10. Especially playing it multiplayer. I play this with my nephew a lot. There's up to 2-player co-op. And it's just a ton of fun. You play as the Earth Defense Force, and what do they? I think they just say, like, it's been a while since they played it, but they'll randomly break out in a cheer and say like "Go Earth Defense Force" or something like that. It's just super over the top. The dialogue in it's really bad, but I highly recommend this. That's number 10 on my list. Number 9 was a released. A launch title for the 360, and I think this is criminally underrated survival horror. It's Condemned Criminal Origins. It's a Sega game, and this was one that I actually was very surprised by. It's quite scary. I don't typically get scared by video games, but this one with the lights off, there's lots of jump scares. The story's pretty decent. You're trying to hunt down a serial killer. There's a lot of like detective elements to it. The combat's pretty good. You can use anything, pretty much, not anything, but most things from the environment as a weapon. Pipes, bats, 2x4s, all that kind of stuff. It's extremely violent. And I really enjoyed this. I'm a huge fan of survival horror games. It controls pretty well. You know, it was never going to win any awards, but it's a very good game. I believe it came out on the PC too. That's why it doesn't have the only on Xbox. But that's Condemned: Criminal Origins. So next up here, number 8 on my list is Tales of Vesperia. This was a console exclusive in North America. It never came out on the PS3. I don't believe these were ever released on the PC. I think it got a Japanese release on the PS3. Graphics on this are absolutely fantastic. Battle system's pretty fun from what I remember. I think I put a good 8 to 10 hours in this before I got caught up playing something else. I really enjoy the Tales series. For the most part, it's pretty consistent. And this is one of the better games in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below where you would rank this Tales game. Tales of the Abyss I played a lot on the PS2. And this one I think are the two that I played the most. So that's number 8. Number 7 is the original Dead Rising. This was just released, part 3 was released on the Xbox One. Some of you might be more familiar with that. This one was produced by Capcom in Japan, and then I believe it moved over to a Canadian studio, actually, who did part 2 and part 3, I believe. But the original, to me, is still the best. You play as Frank West. You're a photographer that gets kind of caught up in a zombie apocalypse. It takes place in a mall, so it's kind of like, oh geez, I'm going to mess this up. I think Dawn of the Dead? I probably got that wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Dawn of the Dead? Dawn of the Dead, I think, took place in the mall. But it's really good. It's actually pretty tough. Kind of some annoying save points in this game from what I remember. Extremely quirky. This series is known for its kind of out there costumes and weapons. This one has, I believe this one has the chainsaw on the end of a bat. I believe it had, I can't remember. I get them all mixed up now. But I just remember this being a lot of fun. And I'm sure you can find that for super cheap these days. Probably the best exclusive RPG on the 360. Number 6 on the list is Lost Odyssey. This is I thought this was a Square Enix title, but I guess not. I don't know why I always thought this was Square, but I don't see Square anywhere on here. It runs on the Unreal Engine, so it's a really gorgeous game. If you have a 360, you've got to buy this. This is the best RPG, aside from, I should say it's the best JRPG. And it's a true JRPG. From what I remember, they have the, I mentioned in another video, I think it's like you would say it's like a time-based, turn-based mechanic. What I mean by that is, depending on your timing of the attack, you can hit a button and it'll affect the power of the attack, much like Legend of Dragoon did that. I mentioned that in one other video. I really like that mechanic. Some of the Mario RPG games do that. Basically, where you select attack and the guy will go and run. If you hit the button at the right time, it'll make your attack more powerful. So I always really enjoy that. Just an added layer of depth. From what I remember, the voice acting was half decent in this. I know it's gorgeous, and I believe it's only about 30 to 40 hours, for which these days that's a shorter RPG. It's on, I think it's on 3 discs. I remember this being really 4 discs. Yeah, I remember. It comes with 3 discs in the case. This is how it came from the factory, and then 1 disc is in a paper sleeve. Not the cleanest look, but I remember there being a lot of CGI cutscenes in this. Number 5 on my list is easily one of the biggest surprises I've ever had on this system, and I don't know if it would classify as a hidden gem. It's a pretty well-known game. It was a game that was forced on people through a... I think if you bought Crackdown, you got a demo for Halo 3, or was it the other way around? I think you had to buy Crackdown to get the demo, and I think that sold a lot of them, or at least forced people to try it out. Anyways, the game is Crackdown, and this is a game that, again, is coming up. It was announced for the Xbox One. There is a Crackdown 2 on the 360 also. But this kind of caught people by surprise at how fun it was. Again, it's not going to win any awards, but it's a gorgeous game. Kind of a cel-shaded look. I've never been so into the collection aspect of a game. I really was motivated to collect every single orb in this game, and orbs are just placed around the city on rooftops typically and stuff like that. And once, like I said, once you get the orb, it goes towards powering up your character to the point where you're jumping from building to building hundreds of feet in the air, and it's extremely fun. You can throw cars at people. I remember this game was fun just to park a whole bunch of cars beside each other, then blow them all up, and the explosions look really good in this game. Just kind of a simple mission-based game. I believe, from what I remember, there was a whole bunch of like crime bosses, and basically it's a whole bunch of different boss. You're going after a boss, and then once you beat him, it's basically on to the next one. But just a really fun game to play. That's number 4 on my list. Crackdown, the original Crackdown. Part 2 is very good also. Number 4 on my list, Fable 2. I played the original Fable on the original Xbox and really enjoyed it, but this, I love this game. This is one of my favorite RPGs that I've ever played. I don't know how many people would regard it that highly, but it was just a lot of fun. The combat system was a lot of fun from what I remember. The graphics looked great. I really loved being able to buy properties. Basically, you could just take over whole sections of the town if you're a good guy. I remember rolling into town and people would cheer for you and stuff like that. You could set prices of rent on your buildings. If you set them too high, people would start to dislike you, and they would talk trash to you as you're walking through the city. Just a really cool mechanic. This one is really good, really well done. I kind of skipped Fable 3. It didn't really interest me. I'd like to play through Fable 1 again, and this, to be honest. I know Fable 1 was released in a HD up-res version on the 360. I'd like to check that out. But Fable 2 had a ton of fun with this game, and that's number 4 on my list. Number 3, Alan Wake. This is the special edition. Alan Wake is a really fantastic exclusive. If you haven't played this game, go out and find it. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a cross between Twin Peaks. What do they call it? Twin Peaks and the Twilight Zone. It's kind of like a episodic. It's episodic but not episodic. They make it kind of episodic within the game. It's not like you have to, not like these days when you have to purchase different episodes like the Telltale games. But whenever you go on to the next one, you'll see previously on Alan Wake. And it just feels like one of those old TV shows. And it's kind of a, I don't know, a psychological thriller. It says right in the box. It's really good. The graphics still hold up. They're really fantastic. The game mechanics are pretty good. The story is really good. I think he's a novelist. He's a writer. And, oh yeah, his wife disappears. Bright Falls. Man, this is such a good game. So basically he's searching for his wife. I remember their cottage is like on a lake, and then it disappears or something like that. Anyways, I should have done more research on this one. It's been a while, but Alan Wake, fantastic game. That's number 3 on the list. The last 2 are usual suspects. I don't have a whole lot to say about these. I had to put them on the list. Number 2, Gears of War. Basically, the Gears of War series are some of the best exclusive to the 360, and one of the reasons to own the 360. These games are a ton of fun through co-op. The graphics for the time were great. I really enjoyed that active reload mechanic, where if you time the reload, it would be a lot faster. If you missed it, it would jam. This game kind of, I don't want to say started the cover shooter series, but this is one that perfected it. Basically, covers, you're in the third person, you're running from cover to cover, shooting over cover and stuff like that. It's a ton of fun to play, and a lot of fun to play co-op. So number 2 on the list is Gears of War. You could say the Gears of War series. 2 is really good. I enjoyed them all. I didn't play Judgment yet. I still got to play that. And number 1 is Halo 3. This is my favorite exclusive on the Xbox 360, and it's definitely a reason to own the console. This was a big deal. This is the first one on the new console that really showed off the graphics and the engine capabilities of the 360. Multiplayer was a lot of fun. This is one of those games where, one of the few games where the single player is actually just as good as the multiplayer, and people buy this game for the single player and multiplayer, and in contrast to a Call of Duty where a lot of people buy Call of Duty just to play the multiplayer, never touch the single player. So you're kind of getting the full package with these Halo games. That's number 1 on my list of Xbox 360 exclusives. I have a couple other ones here I just wanted to show off. Metal Jesus Rock style. He shows off a couple at the end. Some more exclusive. Dance Central series, really fun. Viva Pinata, great game. Blue Dragon, a early RPG for the 360. Dead or Alive 4, I believe. Another Gears game. Banjo and Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. A lot of people were pissed that this wasn't a typical Banjo Kazooie game, but it's actually quite fun. The original Bioshock, which was exclusive for one time and is one of my favorite games of all time. Probably number 2 after Metal Gear Solid. And Too Human, which is pretty much a turd. A lot of big story behind this one, a lot of disappointment, but that was another exclusive. Just some of the ones that I was kind of considering for the top 10 list. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the top 10 exclusives on the Xbox 360. Stay tuned. I'll be doing this similar video on other systems. And like always, you can find me on social media at SeeJayAre. And till the next episode.